videos, it's hard to do it justice. That is so...
9 years. The latest from ADVANCED polishes and the latest in graphene ceramic technology, paint protection, going on project F1LD today. Rated for 9 years. I'm gonna be over 40 by the time this stuff wears off. Now, if you remember back about 11 months ago, we did a full graphene coating on the 2020 Trail Boss. Pretty popular video. This one at the time was rated for 7 years of protection. We're nearly 1 year into that 7-year lifespan. We'll do a full status update once we do hit that 1 year mark. But since then, the advanced graphene ceramic coating from ADVANCED Polishes has just recently come out and hit the market. But once again, ADVANCED Polishes taking a good amount of money from me. They don't sponsor any of these videos. I would love it if they did, but we're gonna be starting with our shoes. What these are GM OEM ZL1 1LE wheels. They're wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, 305s in the front, 325s in the rear. This car is gonna be menacing. But before we get these on the car, I do wanna do a protective coating on this finish. It's a beautiful satin black, and this car is notorious for brake dust. So in the cleaning process, it'll be much easier with that graphene ceramic. In addition to all the chemicals you encounter on day-to-day driving, this will in fact help the longevity and beauty of these wheels stay beautiful for years to come. So guys, aloha and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my little piece of paradise I call the Lonestar Hawaiian Garage. A special aloha and welcome if you guys are new and tuning in for the first time. And if you are, at any time in this video, if I've earned your subscription, feel free to scroll down and hit that subscribe button below and join the family. And be sure to please hit that like button below as well. Helps me out, helps the channel out, and helps this kid go to college. Not really, I'm kidding. So we got a few things happening in today's video. Number one is actually not gonna be the ceramic. It's in fact dealing with this color here. We have a bunch of wrap that's hitting these wheels, and then we're gonna ceramic coat over the top of it in order to protect all it and kind of seal it up together. In addition, in order to fit these up under the car, we unfortunately found out I have to make a modification onto the suspension. And then lastly, our side markers. We have from Dynamics the LED side markers that are super popular for these cars. So a lot to do today. Let's get working. Stand tall, there's a higher road to take it. Let go of everything that you know and be wild in the mystery. Yeah. I've been in the darkness for 40 days. So step number 2 is going to be involving graphene coating from ADVANCED Polishes. As I mentioned before, 9 years. This is rated for 10H hardness, which kind of matters, kind of doesn't with this, but it has a UV technology in there. Essentially, the UV technology is really useful when it comes to bigger panels like the full car, because you can see where you've applied it versus not. Wheels shouldn't be too difficult. We're going to hit this with some surface prep. Wheels are brand new, so it's going to be pretty simple to wipe them down, have them ready to go, and they're getting right to applying it with the P.H.E.N.O.M.I.N.A.L applicator pads. We'll let it cure for a couple minutes, buff it off, and then we're gonna have a fully 9-year ceramic coated wheel, theoretically, hypothetically, and assumingly. So can you help me out? By the way, this stuff's really bad for you, so use a mask if you guys are doing it. I've been more certain of truth before. Called a righteous man before. Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before. So can you help me out? That is 1 wheel down. We got 3 more to go. That looks so good. Look at this, inside and out. Barrel and face, every bit of this is coated. Satin finish is a satin finish and it looks good, but you throw some graphene coat on there or ceramic coat, it gives it additional gloss and glimmer, and it just pops. Dang, this looks good. It's better in person, I promise you. So what's gonna happen now, you guys are going to a time lapse because this is gonna take forever. Let's get to work, get this done so we can get up on the car. Can you help me out? I've This was truly the first time I've done a full set of wheels, inner barrel, face, off the car, especially being brand new. And I thought, you know, wheels aren't that big. It won't be that hard. It should be pretty quick. And that took forever. But the wheels are fully coated and they look so dang good. It's so shiny. I love it. Advance Polishes recommends 24 full hours to let it cure before exposing it to any water or elements. And that's fine because the next step doesn't involve these. It involves a strut assembly and a grinder. Before you do get to that, some things I did realize using this new coating that I haven't used before, it's a lot more tacky, it's a little harder to buff off, and it feels thicker. They advertise it as thicker, that's why it's supposed to last 9 years versus the 7. Like any coating, it will wear away over time. It's a little bit different. It had to take a little more time to make sure you do get everything off because that is truly a thick layer. But overall, the shine is just as good as the other ones I've used. I've absolutely no complaints so far. So next step in this fun video is gonna be getting this Camaro back in the air because we gotta go full ham on a bracket on the upper strut assembly to give us enough clearance to fit our 1LE wheels. Because these are 11 inches wide with 305 tires, they do not get along with the current suspension setup up under there. Camaro's back in the air. Let's get our grinder and cry a little bit because this is gonna be painful. Cutting up my brand new car. All right, let's go. And we're back several days later again. Funny how this always happens. Guys, welcome to my life. But the benefit of it being several days later is this Advance Polishes graphene coating has had several days to fully cure in this, call it semi-climate controlled environment. And that satin finish is tremendous. I love how that looks with that additional sheen on top of it. That looks so good. And I realized I didn't cover any of the benefits of graphene versus regular ceramic. While we're going with the graphene, while we're using this one, I will cover all that in the future video because we're coming up on that 1-year anniversary of the graphene coating on the 2020 Trail Boss. And we've used that thing every single day since we've coated it. So you'll get a good look there. What it's really like to live with a graphene coated vehicle and the true longevity of this stuff, that it actually stands the test of time. Keeping it relatively top line is some of the benefits, why I want them on my wheels. Number one, it looks good. Look how glossy and shiny a satin finish can be. But in addition, it has a higher water contact angle. It being a graphene coating, graphite, it's a higher water contact angle, which means it sheets off water much easier. And also it's anti-static, meaning it resists dust from clinging to your wheels, or brake dust, hopefully, for that matter. No, I'm just kidding. Brake dust will still get all over these things. But most importantly, it's additional resistance to chemical etching. It's gonna resist all that nasty stuff you're running over on a daily basis on the roads in order to keep your finish good looking as it is now brand new. There's tremendous benefits with this stuff. But regardless, that's done. We're now on to here. It's time to get this thing actually back up in the air. I am terrified right now, but it's gotta be done. So if you missed last week's video, we're running into an issue when it comes to my top strut. The new 1LE wheels, with how wide they are nearly making contact with this edge of my front strut. The ZL1 1LEs have different struts, the Multi-matic spool valve dampeners, the race car parts, and they have a different bracket setup. So what we're trying to do is replicate that 1LE bracket by shaving off this corner, which will give us additional clearance on the wheel where we can run additional negative camber in the future. So now's the part where I've been kind of dreading for the last week. But we got our Diablo grinder head. We're ready to go to town. Whew. Wish me luck, guys. Probably unnecessary, but I have a welding blanket, which I'm going to drape over my smooth velvet soft window liner. All right, that went way better than expected. So we are nice and uniform, and that massive lip is gone. And with my extensive engineering and YouTube expertise, pull that off quick to see how I did. That's not bad. There you go. That's good for the driver's side. I'm gonna go ahead and let it cool down a bit, and then I'm gonna get some paint because I'm gonna kind of touch up this area. I don't want this rusting at all. So paint that, and then hopefully it'll be set to go and done for the driver's side. Time for the passenger side.
number one, steady hand.
All right, I think the welding blanket was total overkill, and you guys probably don't need that, but I've always wanted one of these because I always burn through stuff when I try to weld. But let's see how I did on round 2. I think this one's a little bit more straight. All right, so now it's all taken care of. Actually looks surprisingly good. I'm happy with that. And then to prevent the rust, we need to get some paint on here, get a good coat on there, probably do 2 or 3. This is actually the leftover stuff from the Trail Boss ones.
I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless, my friend.
Okay, so we got 6 coats of base, 4 coats of clear, and I'm just kidding, it's just spray paint. It actually turned out pretty good. I didn't want to tape off everything, so I felt it was easier just to do that. So that's drying. We'll let that cure, which means it's time to do the rear wheel setup. I'm really gonna miss having these on here. I've been looking at them for the last week, and these are really good looking wheels. It's just, the 1LEs are better. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these just yet. I don't have any plans for them. I'm not selling them. We might keep them for a burn set. So if Cletus in cars somehow ends up in North Texas, Cletus, Garrett, pull this one out, have Big Smoky burnout with these old tires. But until then, yeah, 1LE time. I don't like blasting these lug nuts off because it scratches up the lugs, scratches up the wheels. Hey guys, what do you think of the center caps? I think I'm gonna wrap the bow tie in carbon fiber because if you didn't learn from last video, I'm on a carbon fiber cleanse. Full transparency, I have not tried to put these on the rear just yet. This will be the first time. Goodbye, wheel spacer. Yeah, I'm gonna need to take this back off in a second, but I'm just too anxious and want to see it. And I just put the thing inside. That is so meaty. That tire is so massive. And I wasn't gonna do this, but it looks like I might have to. So the Michelin PS4S's, they do have a meaty sidewall, whereas the Goodyears I just pulled off. On the sidewall, it kind of tapers in a little bit. I like this sidewall more to be transparent, but since it does kind of give you more girth on top of the 325 tires, the inside, yeah, when I put this car back in the ground, we might have some clearance issues. All right guys, so here's that wiring harness that we need to relocate. If you run a wider setup, typically there's some rubbing issues and you don't want to be rubbing through this. So we're gonna pop all this out, we're gonna relocate that to here, run it down into the plug. Now this is more common for like the super sports when they run a wider setup. I don't know if the ZL1s really need to do this, but just to be certain, we're gonna go ahead and relocate this. And then we're gonna see if we can massage this out just a little bit. So I get my heat gun, press that out, see if we can reshape it to give me just a tad bit more clearance because I don't want those tires to be rubbing. All right, so we got the wire harness now rerun further on the inside. I placed some insulation tape in those areas of potential abrasion, here where it's zip tied up, and then here by the body mount. We have it kind of zip tied up against the bracket holding this brake line, and then on top here, we got a screw that goes back in here, which will hold this one in place. That's gonna allow us clearance here, there's no issues, and then with that clearance, we've taken the heat gun and massaged this area because it was actually indented inward to allow that wire harness to run behind it. So we've pressed that back out. Hopefully that gives us enough clearance to not rub with the new tires, but to be honest, I really don't know. Hopefully this works. So next up on the docket, we have parts from ZL1 add-ons and Diodynamic. So these ones are pretty popular. You see a lot of Corvettes and Camaros running these. These are LED side markers that replace the super ugly stock ones. Now, if you remember back several months ago, the cheap option for me was just to wrap over the top of them, and I just smoked them out, and it looks fantastic. And I actually like the fact that it's almost dimmed down a little bit. These, if you have seen these before, these are incredibly bright, like insanely bright, too bright, actually, for me. So what we're doing with these is we're gonna wrap the smoked out ones, and I'm kind of silly for doing this. I'm gonna wrap over the top of the already smoked out smoked. So, and then from ZL1 add-ons, surprise, surprise, we have rock guards because okay, so you can see how bright that is. That is pretty dang. So these diode dynamics are super bright, but I'm hoping to have just a little bit more of a smoked, ghosted look. And there's a smoked. Yeah, that looks so much better. That looks so good. So that confirms it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and smoke all 4 of these. Just wanted to test one at least to see if I actually liked it. It's just regular Vivid vinyl smoke tint, nothing special about it. But as always, check your local laws and regulations before you go and do things that I'm doing, because it's likely it's illegal. All right, 3 of the 4 are in on this side. Just a reminder, because we deleted the DRL, so that ZL1 1LEs have an inlet duct, not a daytime running light like the base ZL1. Since that's deleted, we have our power source here that's kind of just dangling out of the way. So taped it up real good, zip tied it up out of the way. I kind of, in the future, want to do something with that, whether it's running some lights up in the grill just for an aesthetic piece, or maybe that's just way too ricer for me, I don't know. So for now, we're just gonna tape that out of the way, get everything bolted back up. These actually work, which is fantastic. I didn't screw anything up. We just got one more to do on that side. Man, this takes just absolutely forever. Doing things how I envision them just takes a lot of time, but it's worth every second. We have rock guards at all in 4 corners. The rock guards, how ZL1 add-on ships them, is in a flat container. They're a flat piece of essentially plastic. So to reform those, I took my heat gun, kind of reformed it a little bit to kind of sit within that wheel well real nice. We have 3M tape stuck on the back holding it up, but we also have 2 clips and a stock pin right there. In the rear, similar story, except we use the 3 stock bolts to bolt it in. These have a little bit of a spacer behind them in order to let it sit a little bit more flush. But in the back and down the sides, we have essentially nearly a whole inch here at the bottom, and it kind of works its way up. So this is going to protect the side of my vehicle from these insanely wide tires. We also have our diode dynamics fully installed, all 4 corners, all the marker lights, and every single one of them is smoked. So it's a smoked diode dynamic LED side marker, and then we have our smoke tint on top of it. Vivid vinyl, nothing special about this. All the wires, all the cords up under here, all tucked away, taped away, good to go. And it's time, finally, to get these wheels and tires on the car. I've been dreaming about this. I've had these for I think I've had them for a month now. Just been staring at them, dreaming of getting this car down with them on and taking a drive. And it's finally that time. Let's get these things on there. All right, so I totally forgot I was gonna weigh these to compare the new wheel and tire setup versus the stock. So this is my 305, this is the rear. So I wanna compare the rear versus rear, front versus front, and see if we're saving any weight. Because I've heard these 1LE wheels are supposed to be lighter than the stock one. So given like the actual design versus like the crazy spokes here, I would think that's the case, but let's see. 59.6. Front is 59.4. How in the world? How is it the same weight? Because these are significantly different sized. 59.4. So this is my new 305/30/19. 57.4, all right. Over 2 pounds of weight. 60 pounds. If my incredible math skills are correct, 59.4, 57.4, so that's 2 pounds of tire equals 4 pounds. On the rear, 0.4, which equals 0.8. 3.2 pounds of rotational weight savings. That actually does go a long way. It's pretty significant, and I'm surprised given these are so much bigger than the stock wheels. So we're going bigger, more meat, more contact patch, and lighter setup. That's awesome.
these chances. They wouldn't give me the answers, so I gotta go out and get it. I'ma hold them all for ransom. This how I planned it. Did it right here where I'm standing. Came from the mud, they counted us out. Now we standing on the planet. They don't know just what to do with me. Promise this is not me. If you came in here to ruin me, hope you writing out a eulogy. I was tailor-made beautifully. You can never find two of me. Look how I'm shining. Cold turn into diamonds. I need a moment of silence. This is our moment. Always on the grind till the sun come on us. They can never control us. Running for the prize, raise high for the toast. This is our moment. 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 Gladiator in this art of war. What you think that I've been fighting for? Got a cape on like a superhero. They rushing at me like a matador. Nah, I don't need your energy. I don't need the negativity. I'm just trying to bring my people up. Promise y'all I got the remedy. Straight to the roof, tell them we bringing the troops. We got a little surprise, you thinking that we ain't the truth. We give it 120, we never make an excuse. So go run and tell everybody down that we coming for you. This is our moment. Always on the grind till the sun comes on us. They can never control us.
You know, it looks better in person than it does, you know, the videos. It's hard to do it justice. That is so cool.
Yeah, all the little touches. Took forever. Yeah, the bow tie.
The bow tie.
So we got the bow tie, this like inlet duct here, here and over there, the bumper cover, and then
I like
the
the
splitter.
bow tie. It's sweet.
It all kind of ties in. And then on the center caps, this used to be silver, but I use that same wrap, and it's carbon fiber. So it's the same stuff on the front.
Oh, you can't even see unless you go. Oh, you just did the bow tie though.
Yep.
Just the bow tie. The stance on the rear wheels looks so good.
Stance
It's
is
like
nuts.
Perfect. It's not sticking out, but it's still out.
Well, you come from the generation of like Chevelles and Novas, where like the fender sits here, but the tire's like 4 inches inside the wheel well, and that was cool, but that's not the thing anymore.
So do you have to add this, or is this?
Yeah, so that's a rock guard. It's an aftermarket piece that protects less. It's more of that, more the front, because as you're turning and driving, it just chunks rocks all up the side. It'll just tear this up.
So you had to add this one as well, the front one?
Yeah, so it's a front and rear rock guard.
And how come it's not been carbon fiber?
Quit busting my coconuts for 5 seconds.
I thought about it.
Versus silver type.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Pull those off, leave them. What do you think? The whole family's out here now.
Yeah. Parties for Women's Day. So cool. Not cool. A week in a day. Good.
Obviously,
Chad?
Mother's very interested in this.
So it'd be like
What's
right
that for?
at 3.
I'm going to Utah for Christmas because I love snow. That was my video 4 weeks ago. Is that new? Actually, half of you guys actually hate this. Should we show them? Should we show them? If you guys have stuck around long enough in this video, there's your sneak peek. Hey, careful. Dude, that's gonna hurt you.
Crush you.
I didn't think the wheels would be that big of a difference, but man, it does.
I knew they made a difference.
Too bad the 55's not running, because then you put those tires in 55.
ZL1 wheels on a 1955 Chevy. It's a 55 Chevy R. The R stands for rust. Oh yeah, they hook better. Yeah, they hook better. They definitely hook way better. And typically when you go up in size on tires, it gets heavier, slows you down. It's actually got lighter. Even though we went larger with the contact patch, the rotational mass decreased by over 3 pounds. And I know there's a mathematical equation. If you do know that mathematical equation, put in comments below for everybody, because I know it's out there. It feels more planted too. These tires are awesome. Well, thank you guys again for joining me today. I cannot emphasize this enough. Thank you. Big mahalos for all the support. This does not happen without you. The fact that I can do this is just beyond me. Just converting this thing to my absolute dream car I thought was completely out of reality and is sitting here in front of me. And the fun part of this is I had the chance to create it with my own hands. Yes, I had a base ZL1. Yes, the OEM pieces fit perfectly. There's no issues, no major fabrication needed. I'm floored. I have no words. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Every penny earned from this YouTube channel goes right back into it, into chasing what I thought was outside of reality for so many years. I'm stoked on these. We'll see what happens with these ADVANCED polishes. Advanced graphene coating, if this actually stands the test of time. Stay tuned for an update on the initial graphene coating video coming up on the Trail Boss. I'll keep you continually updated on these if I start having issues with them or if they start showing blemishes. Here's how she will sit and stand for the next foreseeable future. Actually, not foreseeable. I foresee a lot of additional changes continuing. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please scroll down, hit that like button below. Helps me out, helps the channel out, helps us continue to grow. If you haven't joined the family just yet, scroll down, hit the subscribe button below. It's absolutely free, and all it really does is when I post a new video, it gives you visibility that it's live. So scroll down, hit the subscribe button below. If you want to see all the background and behind the scenes stuff, join me at Lonestar Hawaiian on Instagram. Great conversation we have there on a continual basis. But here it is, guys. Time for me to go home and eat my donuts I just bought. Well, I said me, but my kids want donuts, so I need to hurry. And as always, we'll see you in a few days for our next video. Until that day comes, y'all take care. We hope. Aloha.
Yeah, taking these chances. They wouldn't give me the answers, so I gotta go out and get it. I'ma hold them off for ransom. This how I planned it. Did it right here while I'm standing. Came from the mud, they counted us out. Now we standing on the planet. They don't know just what to do with me. Promise this.
Speed and power.